Hi, my name's Godijn. I'm the Head of Conservation of Fine and Decorative Arts at International Conservation Services. I'd like to welcome you all on this first virtual tour where I'm going to walk around the labs, find interesting people to talk to and interesting objects. So please enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and here we go. Let's start in the textiles lab. Christina is carefully placing these pieces of fur back in their original positions. I don't want to disturb her just yet until it's down. Then she's heat setting so the pieces don't come up again. So this is Christina, our textiles conservator. Christina, can you tell me what you're working on?
This is an Australian water rat fur coat from Orange Regional Museum that's meant to go on exhibition, and it's very significant for the region. It's really beautiful, has this beautiful lining, but unfortunately over time, not even the seams, but just a lot of slits that has opened up in the skin, and it doesn't look the best. So I'm using this beaver film that's been attached to Japanese tissue paper, and I'm inserting it into the back, on the back of the skin, and applying a bit of structure and holding the slits back together.
What happens once you finish the treatment?
It's meant to go on exhibition at the Orange Regional Museum. So go on their idea was that it was going to go on a mannequin, but it's still very fragile, even though it's gone through this massive treatment. So I'm going to suggest to them that they maybe display it flat in a display case, but we'll have to see what they decide. And if they do decide to display it on a mannequin, I can then build out the mannequin so it provides maximum support for this fragile coat during exhibition.
Are water rats native to Australia, or where is it?
This is Australian water rat, but I have just been told, it's not that I can verify that, but it must be significant, especially for the exhibition, to show how they used native animals to create their fashion back in the day. It's from 1930.
It's quite a beautiful coat. I didn't expect rat to be so beautiful.
No, and it's interesting to have access to the back because you can actually see a lot of the skin of the fur is put together of tiny, tiny pieces that's been stitched in. Sorry, it's difficult to see here, but there are lots of seams in the back. Small pieces stitched together to create this massive surface.
Let's wander into the large technology lab.
We're going to get the goodsmithing going.
You guys aren't eating takeaway here, are you?
This is mine. Don't get any ideas.
What's inside there?
This is a delicious sample of microcrystalline wax polish. It's my lunch.
Chemical audit. Very important in the workshop.
It sounds exciting.
Yes. All the essential jobs are. Good to stay on top of everything that's in our inventory, so we know what we have.
So we know when Oliver steals our chemicals. We know when something's gone.
So this is Oliver Hull, our furniture conservator, who is working on a
Buddha. Gorgeous little Buddha. New section of arm, trying to get the colour right on the gilding, which is basically a build-up of all these different colours and then cutting back through to sort of create a depth effect, which is what's gone on here.
I can hear something happening in the spray booth. There's Shane, he's working on the lacquer screen. we might pop inside and take a closer look. Shane's carefully putting some glue onto the spatula. You can see he's just touching underneath the paint flake, being very careful not to get anything on the surface. And there it is, it sucks underneath. And once there's enough glue under there, he'll let that dry. And probably use a little bit of heat and pressure to lay those flakes back into position. Can you tell me what you're doing?
In painting the drip marks, like this one, and for example this one here, it looks like someone tried to clean the painting and now it's blanch, and also there, I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just trying to reduce the blanching with some in painting, and that's it.
Thank you. Well,
I'm Jochen, I'm a conservation picture framer and I work for ICS as a technician and as a framer here.
and what are you doing today?
I'm just framing this nice painting on canvas, and the frame has been restored by the paintings department, so lots of ornaments have been replaced and it's been retouched. And my job is now to fit the painting back into its frame.
And what's this timber frame here?
That's the build-up. So the original frame was not deep enough or big enough for the painting. It was just put in with nails, which is something we don't want to do now, so we have to find a better way to put it in. We want to actually fit a backing onto it to protect it from the back, so this is what
So
this
that
little
goes on,
frame
and
is.
then the painting goes in.
Exactly. So this is going to sit on the back here, and that's going to give me a lot more room inside to actually fit the painting plus a backing, and I can close it off properly.
Lovely.
And inside here is a little foam tape as well, which was not previously there, which is going to give the painting a nice, comfortable sitting to the front. So.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll have to come back and have a look once it's in the frame.
Good.
Thank you. This drum is one of the few remaining artifacts from the Ritschel temple and is a tangible link to the flourishing Chinese community of more than a century ago. This drum would have been one of the most important musical instruments in the temple itself. All of the pieces of the drum were coming apart and swollen and warped and distorted, and we wanted to preserve it the best we can. Maybe if you can zoom in a little bit closer, we can actually see that up and down here were large gaps in the drum. We've actually filled those with balsa wood and coloured them to match. All these tacks were extremely rusty, and we've stabilised those. So as a museum object, we want to preserve the history, however, make it stable and presentable. And we're almost there, so there's a little bit more to do, but this is the tail end, and maybe if I can find a photograph of it how it was beforehand, I'll try and post that for you all.
We'll show you the skin. Show you the skin and the pieces in paper.
We can find the skin as well, so we'll do that a bit later as well.
So this is the skin of the drum, or what's left of the skin of the drum. This came into us basically completely scrunched together. It had a huge amount of tension that was left in it from being dried out over the time. We had a number of processes involved to get it back to this sort of the way it looks now. Essentially what we did was we introduced a lot of humidity and slowly stretched out the skin over many days, and then we vacuum pressed it onto a paper backing, which Wendi will talk more about now.
So we lined it, usual typical Japanese technique where we use wheat starch paste, and then we've toned the Japanese tissue, and then we paste that out, the tissue, and then place the flattened parchment on top, and then put it under weight, and then left it to dry, and this is the result.
So we can see that there's not a complete skin left,
Yes.
and we're still debating what to do with the aesthetics with the calico top, whether to tone it in or to leave it as is.
Definitely tone it in.
But we're on the home stretch, so we'll update once we know what we're doing with it. Thank you for joining us all on this first lab tour of International Conservation Services. Our conservators are very proud of the work that they do, and we've been really pleased to share a snapshot of some of the objects and some of the amazing things that they do. We've got many more conservators we'd like to introduce you to, and many more projects. In particular, the museums and galleries that we support and through conservation, we would like to showcase their projects. And so please subscribe to our channel. If you'd like your own private online consultation or to call me about any questions that you might have about your own art or artefacts, please do hit the link below and give me a call. Speak soon.